On February 22, 2026, entire regions of Mexico ground to a sudden, violent halt. Within hours, major highways were choked with burning vehicles and black smoke. Residents were ordered to shelter in place, public transit was suspended, and the military scrambled to contain heavily armed gunmen paralyzing infrastructure across 20 different states. This massive, coordinated disruption was the direct response to a single event: the military assassination of Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, better known as El Mencho. El Mencho built his power following a split in the Milenio cartel in 2010. He took control of a rogue faction and branded them Los Matasetas, the Zeta Killers. They deployed extreme, public violence under the guise of being a vigilante cleanup crew, claiming they only targeted rival extortionists and kidnappers. But the vigilante narrative masked a strategy of territorial conquest. El Mencho weaponized military-grade tactics and brutal propaganda to expand his regional hit squad into the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, or CJNG. This shift moved the group away from the quiet smuggling tactics of previous generations and toward an aggressive paramilitary occupation of the state. The CJNG operates less like a traditional mafia family and more like a multinational conglomerate. Instead of relying purely on blood relatives, the cartel utilizes a franchise model, an affiliation agreement connecting roughly 90 distinct organizations with a presence in over 40 countries. This global footprint allows them to dominate the market for synthetic drugs. Unlike cocaine or heroin, fentanyl and meth don't require vast fields or favorable weather. They require steady streams of precursor chemicals, which the CJNG sources in bulk, primarily from chemical brokers in China and India. This aerial view shows the port of Manzanillo on Mexico's Pacific coast. It is the critical infrastructure hub for the cartel's entire operation. By controlling this port, the CJNSG effectively owns the gateway for thousands of tons of those raw Asian chemicals entering North America. From Manzanillo, the chemicals are cooked in labs and pushed north. The final product often looks like these counterfeit pills. This specific pipeline is ruthlessly efficient, driving a public health crisis that claims over 52,000 lives in the United States every year. This scale reveals a staggering problem for law enforcement. When an illicit network mirrors the supply chains of a Fortune 500 company, generating billions of dollars across decentralized franchises, how exactly do you dismantle it just by eliminating the man at the top? By early 2026, El Mencho had become the most hunted man on the continent. With a $15 million bounty on his head from the DEA, he lived in total isolation. He avoided cell phones, shunned public appearances, and hid deep within the mountains, successfully evading the most sophisticated electronic surveillance networks in the world. But he couldn't evade human nature. Authorities finally got their breakthrough not from a wiretap, but from a trusted associate of one of his romantic partners. By physically tracking her movements, investigators bypassed his complete electronic blackout and pinpointed a secluded cabin near this mountainous town, Tapalpa. Inside that compound, the reality of the feared kingpin was remarkably grim. El Mencho was battling severe chronic kidney disease. He was effectively tethered to dialysis equipment and a medical cooler stocked with Tational Plus, requiring a strict schedule of injections just to survive. The architect of Mexico's most dangerous cartel was ultimately trapped by his own failing biology and the simple need for human contact. The intelligence window was incredibly narrow. On the morning of February 22, a joint task force mobilized. Mexican special forces, backed by air support, descended on the secluded compound to execute Operation Tapalpa. The element of surprise vanished almost immediately. Cartel gunmen stationed at the cabin opened fire. They deployed high-caliber rifles and heavy weaponry, the exact kind of hardware the CJNG had used for years to dominate rival cartels, trying to buy their leader enough time to run. As the firefight tore through the property, El Mencho and a small security detail broke the perimeter, fleeing on foot into the dense woodlands. The troops pursued them into the trees. In a secondary exchange, El Mencho was fatally wounded. He was secured and airlifted out for medical treatment, but died from his injuries in transit aboard a military helicopter. The surgical strike was a tactical success. The founder was neutralized. But executing the kingpin also tripped the wire for the cartel's automated nationwide defense protocol. Within hours, the CJNG initiated destruction operations. They hijacked vehicles, setting off more than 250 burning narco blockades across 20 states. The goal was to choke the major arteries, trap government forces in a logistical nightmare, and project raw power. Despite the volume of attacks and dozens of casualties, the state did not fold. Mexican authorities held their ground, clearing the blockades and eventually restoring order. Meanwhile, inside the cartel, a major power vacuum opened. Unlike older cartels relying on clear familial succession, Mencho's direct heirs were already off the board. His son was serving life in the US, his wife was detained, and his brothers were in custody. But the system quickly self-corrected. Juan Carlos Valencia Gonzalez, Mencho's stepson, navigated the internal politics to seize control of the organization. The transfer of power was rapid and relatively seamless. It proved the CJNG operates less like a traditional crime family tied to a single patriarch, and more like a corporate board capable of replacing its leader without halting production. For Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum, the Tapalpa raid was a significant victory. It demonstrated advanced intelligence sharing with the United States and successfully removed one of the most violent men on the planet. Yet, the operation also exposes the limits of the kingpin strategy. Decapitating the leadership of a cartel creates headlines, but it doesn't dismantle the underlying economic machinery. The franchise agreements are already signed. The chemical brokers in Asia are still taking orders. The man who built the empire is dead, but his decentralized network of chemical pipelines, corrupt logistics, and regional commanders was built to outlast him. The ghost is gone, but the machine survives. If you found this breakdown helpful, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. We rely on your support to keep analyzing the geopolitics driving our world. Thanks for watching.